heard you mention, I think it was in the last meeting or something, about having smoke alarms and carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Where can I get those at?
From me, where you want it.
What do you mean, where do I want it?
Where can I get it to you?
Oh, 1142.
Okay.
Yeah, because every time when I come back in the spring, my smoke alarm's going off because the battery ran out.
Yeah, this is a 10-year lithium ion, so you won't replace the battery.
Okay, perfect. Or if I'm making dinner,
Well,
because it's
that's-
right
yeah,
around the
that's
corner,
a
that thing
different-
goes
yeah,
off
that's a
all
whole
the
different
time.
issue, but yeah.
All the
window.
time. People are like, what are you burning now, Sam?
Yeah.
I have to open a window and turn the fan on if I'm cooking bacon or something. So I saw them remove that trailer that burned across the lake from us. Yeah. Yeah. Ready when you are, Paul. With the stove. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending and being flexible with the change of time and location of our monthly board meeting. Because of circumstances beyond our control, we had to make a few adjustments. So we appreciate your attendance and we appreciate your flexibility. To get things off, Pastor Craig, would you lead us in prayer, please?
For sure. Gracious Lord, we lift up our park here today, Sandy Pines, a place that we love so much. We thank you for the beauty of this place, for the friendships that we form here, our memories made with families and friends. We ask for a blessing over every member, guest, worker who is in this place. Protect this park, watch over those who travel here. Keep this place a place of safety, of rest and joy. May it always be a community of kindness where neighbors care for one another and your presence is continually felt. Bless our time here together. Guide our decisions. And we pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you. One housekeeping before we move on. Please silence, right? Silence cell phones. Okay. As now, let's please rise if you're able, and we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kim, roll call, please.
All right, Alan Carpenter, Rick Day, here. Bob Deckinga, Pat Dozema, here. Jenny Hager, here. Larry Munger, here. Paul Peppel,
Here.
Craig Van Beek,
Here.
Scott Wyman. 6 present.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is member comment, where we give you the opportunity to speak about any item on the agenda. This is not a Q&A. The Q&A is still reserved for after the meeting, where you can ask any question that you wish. At this time, we'll open up the microphone, name and site number, if you'd like to comment on any item that's on the agenda today.
Kelly Johnson, 7031. The only question I have as far as agenda would be to the point of sales launch. It's kind of hard to answer or ask a question when I have no idea what it is. So I'm hoping, of course, at the end of the meeting, you can't ask questions, you can just make comments.
No, you can ask questions after. That's when you can ask questions.
Okay.
Afterward.
Okay, then I will wait till the end when I see it. Thank you.
Hi, Sandy Watson, 1142. The brand new dock that you're going to build for the fishing, is that going to be right out in front of that building or more further down by that where the pipe water comes in?
Yeah, I shouldn't engage in question, but it will come up later because we will be talking about it. But it's basically in between the dock and in between the existing marina dock and where the freshwater inlet is.
Okay, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I do know a lot of people bring their dogs over here, and I'm thinking there's gonna be a lot of dogs coming out with hooks in their paws and stuff, because that's the only place they gotta go with them. Because they don't wanna bring them to Phase 3, because that's a muck hole over there. So I just was wondering where exactly it was gonna go. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? We're all set? Okay, moving on to agenda item number 6. Jeff, could you give us a rundown of the members that are new to our park?
Yes, I would love to. July sales for Sandy Pines, we had a total of 23 new members come into the park, 16 total sales, 5 through the for sale by owner process, 8 through the sales process through Kent and the team, and then 3 through the standard transfer process. The breakout of the members, we had 8 in their 30s, we had 1 in their 40s, we had 6 in their 50s, we had 6 in their 60s, we had 1 in their 70s, and we had 1 young man at 82 years old that bought into the park. So, a total of 23. And that concludes the sales for July 2025.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion to approve the new park members as presented.
Motion to approve day.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes. We did receive recently a copy of the July 2025 minutes for the Board of Education. Board of Education, there we go. Boy, that took a step back. Boy, that's 2015 if I ever heard it. Sorry about that. Board of Directors at Sandy Pines, sorry. With that being said, let's stick with the Sandy Pines minutes, and I'll entertain a motion to approve that. I'll support that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And any opposed? And that motion passes. We'll move on to finance. Kim, you're up next. The July 2025 Sandy Pines Wilderness Trails financial statements.
All right, for Sandy Pines Wilderness Trails, as of July 2025, year to date, our days cash and reserve remains strong at the end of the month. Our asset replacement cash, all of the 2025 capital expenditures will be transferred to the operational cash account at the end of the season. Our overall net income is $279,000 lower than what our prior year was. This is primarily due to the Department of Labor changes that we've been mentioning throughout the year, which changed our labor structure, as well as added professional fees as we're completing some final phases of our computer system launch. And even with these changes, we're still going to remain well within our budget goals. A few minimal adjustments were made when we review the financial statements from June to July 2025. Some of those key highlights for the month: Recreation showed some strong growth in their net revenue within the Happy Shack, which was good to see. Some of the expenses that we noticed some increases were within utilities. A lot of that we're noticing because of the warmer summer. The lake maintenance off-season project, and then again, our professional fees, which I will state those are short-term and non-recurring. Our lease operations remain stable, but we do see a positive uptick in food truck income, which is good to see as well. Park and Garden showed a slight decline in the net income. It has been noted that the foot traffic in the store seems to be down this season, so we are monitoring that a little bit more closely and trying to get some more advertising out there. Golf cart rentals appears to be lower in July also, but I want to state that as an appearance, as the timing difference in the lease payments when you look year over year is a little bit different. Retail Center is performing well under the new structure where we brought in the Dairy Dip, Country Cafe, and Country Store. Last year was the first launch of that, so this is a good season in the second year. Dairy Dip overall is showing a positive positive 67,000 net income year to date. The cafe and store are trending towards a profitable margin, and we're hoping to reach that by the end of the season, so we continue to monitor that as well. And then last, for the sales profit and loss statement, our sales commissions are lower due to the fewer in-park sales, and more for sale by owner transactions. But overall, sales is remaining in a strong position and within our budgeting goals. So that completes my review for July Sandy Pines financials.
Thank you, Kim. I will entertain a motion to approve the July 2025 Sandy Pines Wilderness Trails financial statements as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes. Sticking with July 2025, we'll move to the golf course. A little financial background for them, please, Kim.
Okay, Lake Monterey Golf Course, as of July 2025 year-to-date, our days cash and reserve is 630 days, which is about 1.72 years, which is a good, strong position. We are hoping that this reserve will be considered, and we think it will be good in addressing the irrigation needs that I recently talked about at the annual meeting, and we'll talk a little bit more about later in the agenda. Lake Monterey receivable is at $280,000. The September finance and board review will be determining how much to apply towards that note, if that's the area we're going to go versus saving for the irrigation infrastructure needs. So there is a little bit more discussion we'll have on that in the coming month. Net income is down about $7,000. This is primarily, again, due to those labor structure changes with the DOL, as well as the course repairs, which have been related to the aging irrigation system. Offsetting those costs, we do see some increased revenue from the golf membership sales, so it's good to see that. Public and member play, we're seeing an increase in public play, which is nice to see, and the clubhouse sales, including the food, beverage, and merchandise. And that completes my review for July Lake Monterey.
Thank you, Kim. I'll entertain a motion to approve the July 2025 Monterey Golf Course financial statements as presented.
Motion to approve, Duzema.
I'll support that. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion passes. Next, a line item on the agenda is the 2025-2026 final budget, which actually will take place on October 1st, the beginning of our fiscal year. The Finance Committee, as well as administration, Kim and her team, have worked tirelessly on this final budget, and the board spent quite a bit of time on this, reviewing this at our workshop here earlier this week. So, Kimberly, can you give us a kind of a highlight on well, let's start off with Sandy Pines Wilderness Trails. Let's start off with that.
Okay, for Sandy Pines Wilderness Trails, the fiscal year 2026 budget review. Again, I want to thank the Finance Committee and Board of Directors. This was a tough budget this year. So when we look at the CPI inflation and where dues matches our operational expense, we're noticing that huge drop in this next year with what the dues are able to cover and how that's impacting our operational coverage of those expenses. So for example, last year's CPI was 2.8%. This year's is 2.7%. However, we're noticing major fixed costs that we don't have much control of, such as group health, general insurance to the park, property taxes, our refuse expense, and our auto are increasing at any ranges from 6 to 20% annually, so well above that CPI margin. So to bridge that gap, as Paul stated, we've worked tirelessly to see where can we manage that and have some modest fee increases, so just to try to keep those slight, but yet being applied to where those costs are directly rising. So we are proposing an increase to the following areas. This would include the boat stickers, both motorized and non-motorized, the boat docks and stake fees, the contractor fees, as well as delinquent card reactivation, our camper guest passes, so we want to kind of reach outside of our membership. We are talking about adding a new, or it has been proposed to add a new flat holiday camping surcharge. So when we have the holidays, we've got increased staff, we've got increased maintenance and just overall stress on the park. So we're just going to have a small flat camping surcharge, which we notice other entities doing the same type of thing, and that should help bring in some extra outside revenue. An increase to our pump outs, the boat in and out, and winterizing fees. The bullpen, our annual TV internet assessment, which was expected with the management with the cost of that, those expenses, and then permits, site surveys, and seasonal dues, as well as for sale by owner transfer fees. So a complete review of that budget, as has been presented to the Finance Committee and the Board of Directors, will be posted subsequent to the review and approval of that budget. I do want to just quickly highlight the capital projects because this review of the budget for Sandy Pines includes both the operations and the capital. There are minimal changes as we're kind of nearing out to the end of that capital reserve, but a few of those larger projects include the hold for the pending CC1. If that does go through, we're just holding the money that had been allocated for that, as well as some planned projects which include the conversion of compactors to electric, which would save on some operational costs within the park. The replacement or repair of the water park concrete and fence, as well as the continued software updates as we will talk about the North Shore point of sale and accounting software replacement. So that concludes my review of the fiscal year 2026 budget for Sandy Pines as presented to the Finance Committee and Board of Directors.
Very good. Thank you, Kim. This time I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2026 final budget for Sandy Pines Wilderness Trails as presented.
So moved, Dave.
Support Hager.
Any discussion or questions from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes. So we'll move on to the 2026 final budget for the golf course. Kim, what can you share with us, please?
All right, for the Lake Monterey Golf Course, the fiscal year 2026 budget review. Fiscal year 26 will introduce the new golf course assessment with the new structure, which will reduce the fee from $150 to $125 per membership, which is going to lower their operational revenue by approximately $54,000. Going forward, that assessment will include the annual CPI adjustments. Thanks to the recent profitability that the golf course has shown, we are well positioned to absorb that change. The operational budget changes are minimal, but as capital remains on hold, as I stated, due to the irrigation system needs. The irrigation infrastructure is our top priority right now. So while the maintenance team has extended the life of that through the repairs, long-term replacement planning is still going to be underway. So we will review that in more detail, but as presented in the budget, we have anticipated the need for that. So again, that completes my review of Lake Monterey, and again, both budgets will be posted online next week following approval.
Thank you, Kim. I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2026 final budget for Lake Monterey Golf Course as presented.
So moved Hager.
Second, Duesma.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes as well. Excuse me. I'll make a couple of comments here because it says that I can, because I'm next on the agenda. It's truly been an honor being part of this board and being able to serve you, the members, for the last 6 years. I've been on my 3-year consecutive terms, so it's time for me to term out. I can't tell you how great it is to work with a board like this that truly believes when a decision is being made, it's for the best in the park. It's the best interest in the park. And when I hear people suggest hidden agendas and things like that, it's disheartening, to be honest with you, because there may be individual biases here and there, but they quickly get weeded out with the majority rules, because we are, as my colleague Rick says, we are a board of 9, not a board of 1. So it's truly been a pleasure, and one thing I've really enjoyed that I'm going to miss is writing the footprints. And so once this meeting is done and all the votes are tabulated, I want to be able to write my 63rd footprints article. So pretty excited about that. So thank you very much. And Jeff, do you have anything you'd like to offer?
Yes. Thank you, Paul. Again, Paul, thank you for your leadership. We're going to miss you. but we know where to find you. If we have any questions or need some guidance, you've done a great job leading the board this year. Ellen Carpenter isn't here today. She is also at the end of her term and has decided to take a break. Ellen also did a few tours of duty as the chairperson, so we had some great leadership from Ellen as well. And then Bob Deckinga is not here either. He is rolling off this year. So I would agree with Paul. We have a great group of leaders on the board. We do get into probably some passionate conversations during our work sessions and workshops, but at the end of the day, we walk out making certain that we're doing the best for Sandy Pines. Again, thank you for the flexibility for today. So why are we here on a steamy, hot Saturday for a board meeting instead of in a nice cooling shelter at the FEMA building on a Friday night? Again, our apologies. We try to get as much into technology as possible, and some unforeseen issues arose, so we missed our communication to the members. We need to post the agenda in writing and notice of a meeting 72 hours prior to that event. It went out Wednesday morning, which was about 58 hours. Well, hey, let's do it before the membership meeting. So then we were going to do it at 8:30. Well, we got closer. That was 62 hours. So that's why we're here hot and steamy. And I will stop talking about that so we can get out of the hot steam. But again, thank you for your flexibility and understanding. We do have a resolution for that. If we have any technical issues, we will start posting the agenda Tuesday afternoons right at member service as we did this one for today. If you walked into administration, you saw it posted there. So that is your written notice of the agenda and the time. So thank you. That's all I have, Paul.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff. Looks like we have a couple of things of old business, a couple of things I'm going to mention, but first, let's talk about your couple of items.
Sure.
We're going to call it old business just because we've talked about them in the past.
Right. So item A, the 2025 election. Okay, so today is election day. If you haven't gone out and voted, please go and do so. We've handled this process. There's been some noise out there that, hey, there's maybe not secure, maybe not safe. We take this seriously. We put a message out there reminding people yesterday that this is how the bylaws tell us to handle it. The bylaws are set by the members of the park. We unfortunately had a vacancy on the commission because of some of the noise in that system. We had 2 people drop out, and that moved us outside of we have to have a minimum of 3, a maximum no more than 5. So thank you for the board for scrambling, but we did, through our bylaw process, chairperson appointed 2 new election commissioners, and we had unanimous votes on that. So they are now serving. They started serving yesterday, and they are there today, and they will be part of our count. So we do take this seriously, and it is part of our bylaws, and we've been doing it for 54 years with no issues. Yeah, that's what I have for election.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Very good. Last month, the Lake Committee brought to the board a proposal, actually 2 different proposals, so I'll talk about each of them separately. Those of you that were here last time, sorry for the redundancy, but just want to make it clear that the first thing we're going to talk about, or that the Lake Committee brought as a recommendation, would be for a handicap walkway running from the North Shore building. This would run from the bottom floor on the outside, on the water side, where there's a large covered patio there. And it would extend out toward the beach area about 70 feet, which would put it approximately in line with the warning signs that we have on the beach, just to kind of put it into perspective as far as how far it will go out. There will also be a handicap accessible picnic table as part of that. And at the end of the walkway, what's being proposed is that we make it like a T. And so as you go down the walkway, as you would here, you'd come to the end, and then there's a much wider area. This would allow not only wheelchairs to be able to sit and enjoy the beach area, but also those that, you know, it's a struggle with strollers and wagons to try and go through the sand and try to get out to a convenient area, be a place that you could store your towables while you and the kids romp and play. So that was brought forth. We looked at a lot of different, the Lake Committee, I should say we, because I'm part of the Lake Committee as well. And we looked at different materials. We looked at something called a Moby mat, which is something that rolls out. And we thought it would be significantly less cost-wise, and it was a little bit less cost-wise than what we ultimately decided to propose to the board. But there was inconvenience there, because then someone like maintenance would have to roll it up, they would have to store it, and in the spring they would have to bring it, roll it back out. It could be very unstable as well, because you're on an unstable surface, and it just didn't seem like it would serve our needs like concrete. So frankly, we looked at concrete. The committee did a great job at talking to several different contractors to get a very competitive bid. And so that was the proposal that was brought to the board. Again, lake committees, as any committee, they're advisory committees. They cannot vote on anything. They cannot bring it to the public. That's the board's job. Their job is to serve as an advisory committee, did a super job, and brought this to the board. We discussed it at length at our Monday workshop. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the handicap walkway in the Phase 4 beach as we talked about in the Monday workshop.
And Duzema, happy to second that one.
Happy to second that one. Very good. Any discussion or anything that perhaps I missed? Because I sure might have. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes. We may do a little tinkering down the way, but the basic premise is there, and thank you, Lake Committee, for doing that. The second recommendation was to overcome the unfortunate happening of, yay, we got a dam. Oh, now we don't have a fishing area because of all the riprap there, making it virtually unusable to fish at all. Dangerous to walk on, and hooks getting caught, just not a good situation. We looked at the possibility of, well, gosh, maybe we could just build a boardwalk over the top, or like a pier, or something like that. And the engineering firms that we spoke with, that they're the dam experts, they said, absolutely not. We do not want anything touching that riprap. There's fabric underneath there, so you can't put any support pilings down either on the rocks or through the rocks, because it would disturb that membrane that's underneath there, which is critical in keeping the water where it's supposed to be. So that was a ixnay. We can't do that. So then we were pretty limited around the park as where is there empty space that could serve us. And it was landed upon to do it by the current marina area for a couple of reasons. One is there's a freshwater inlet right there. That's one of the pumps that's working at a nice high capacity. So it's bringing nice fresh water in there, cooler water, again, more conducive to fish. We've heard from other fishermen that area around Chapel Point and near that area is quite conducive for fishing. It's really improved a lot. And as part of this proposal, basically what is being proposed is a fishing pier that would extend out 50 feet. It would go, as we talked about earlier, it would go in between the marina and the freshwater inlet. It would go out 50 feet and then make an L. It would be plenty wide as far as, there's not an issue. It'd be twice as wide as this sidewalk. And there would be protective railings around the fishing area to keep people where they're supposed to be. We did make the short access point from the land to where the dock begins. We made that only 4 feet wide because we didn't want people driving their golf carts out there. So we decided to make that as part of our proposal. And in addition to that, On the right side, as you walk out toward the lake, it's been proposed that we put a kayak launch there. For several reasons, obviously the kayaks can be rented there, but that's also a very popular area for kayaking because it's nice and calm. You have adjacency to go back to phase 3. So a lot of people are using that area, and heck, you can get in and hopefully not get wet if you know what you're doing. So that was the proposal, and again, Val and her team did a fantastic job exploring different companies, what's the best bang for the buck. The company that we discovered was local, it's Coopers in Jenison. They're very familiar with our park. They would agree to come in and set it up so we don't have to worry about any warranty issues, about us putting it together wrong or something like that. It would be, except for the kayak launch part of it, it would be a permanent structure. Thus, there'll be a little bit of a delay because we will need Eagle permits because you have something in the water permanently year-round. So just as members have had to do that when they want to have their docks in year-round, we would also have to secure permission from Eagle. So the kayak launch itself is actually a floating dock, and so that will come out. We talked about making that fishing area a floating dock as the other boat docks are in the area, but it's far too unstable, and you don't want kids falling in or adults falling in for that matter. So the decision was made to make it all aluminum, and it's in there permanently. We can make minor adjustments to it. If the feet start to settle a little bit, we can bring it back into compliance very easily. You don't have to take things apart, and it's quite a slick system, and we felt that it offered quite a big bang for the buck. So that was the proposal that was brought to the board. Again, we discussed that at length on Monday. We may do some minor tweaking to it, but I think we were pretty much in agreement, but I guess I'll find out. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the fishing dock pier kayak launch as presented at the board workshop on Monday. Second for Larry. Are there any questions or comments from the board on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion passes. Okay, Jeff, new business. I guess there's not much to talk about the past as far as the membership meeting. It'll be on our YouTube channel. Right. And then you can answer all of Kelly's questions on 11B.
About the, yes. So you're right. A, we've already done. So thank you for those that showed up this morning. B, point of sale system, point of sale launch. So we've been looking over probably the last 4 years. We have a very old and antiquated point of sale system. So that is point of when we're taking money for a transaction from members. So you've got it at the Happy Shack, you've got it at administration when you pay your bill, you've got it at the store, the restaurant, anywhere there's business transacted is through the point of sale system. We thought we had something last year. As we started to dig a little deeper, it was not the right system for us, and things happen for a reason. We found a new system, and this one is actually all-encompassing of tying in an accounting system. So what our system currently does today is when you transact business, it goes into the point of sale system, and then we have to pull those transactions out, and Kimberly and her team have to manually enter in those transactions, which could be 1,500 line items at least at a time, to get the financials to the board of directors and the finance committee. This system is all-encompassing now, so we do transactions in it at the point of sale. It flows into an accounting system, and it spits out a beautiful budget. We are still seeing if it will give us a money tree that we can shake and get additional cash if we need it, but right now it will streamline a lot of our accounting systems. The launch is going smoothly right now. Target is to be October 1, which is the start of our fiscal year, to launch into this new system, and then hopefully reap some benefits from some efficiencies out of that system. So that is our point of sale. Kimberly, did I miss anything on that?
No, the only thing I was maybe going to state is as we're developing this, you might see some changes, but I think for the good to the financial statements and the budget. One thing that they mentioned is that we will be putting in a monthly budget. So although that's kind of a big undertaking in the way we do this because our budget is cyclical, we receive all of our dues in the beginning. Working on that, I'm actually excited to see what that will be. And I just want to overall say the people we've been working with, the group in charge of this infrastructure has been great too. So I think we made a good decision there. Oh, and then also we did look at some formats. We are subject to the templates that they have. So you'll notice some changes to the member statement as well. But I will say they're pretty comparable from system to system, but obviously it's going to have the same information, just a different format. So you will know we are live then, which the live date is October 1st, 2025.
Oh, we're all set? Okay. Well, that was pretty good, 12:35. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting of August 16th, 2025.
Second, Duesma.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes, and we are adjourned. Now, the meeting technically is over, but now it's a chance for you to shine. If there's any questions or comments that you have, feel free to give your name and site number and ask away.
Good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Rosales, and I'm on site 4219. Thank you for all of you, and thank you, Paul, for doing everything that you're doing, and you're getting ready to go, retire from this job. Thank you very much for each and every one of you. This is an observation. I've been here going on 21 years, and one of the things that I have observed, that is that we have no people of color in the working areas where they get paid, whether it's in the office, whether it's in the what do we call them, the office where you get you come in.
Like member service?
Yeah, member service,
Okay.
I'm sorry. And to me, we're in 2025, and I've been here almost 21 years, and I have not seen that one. And even to me, that's it. I mean, we have to change. We have to let these people of color be hired. And when I see this, it's beautiful. It is beautiful because I came from Michigan State University. But I also know that we need to get out there, enjoy the other races that are out there and bring them in. Because the more we bring in, the more beautiful we become in this community. So, and we are represented from all of us, they're all different nationalities. And we've been here, like I said, 21 years, but I have not seen one person working at the office and working for what I call the Barneys. Excuse me when I say that. But yeah, we love Sandy Pines. We do love Sandy Pines, and my grandkids grew up here and all that. But just think about this. If you have board members, if you have people that are working here, and they're all different colors, what a beautiful United States, right? A beautiful, beautiful union. So please, let's work on that. And keep it in consideration that we need people. And we are all brothers and sisters, and we all come from the same faith. I believe in our Heavenly Father. So let's get there. We're almost ready to go out, but I would like to stay here and see this a little bit longer. Be blessed, everybody, and thank you for everything that you do, and I know it's a lot of hard work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I will make a quick comment if you don't mind. So we are an equal opportunity company, and we have hired other members or employees of race. We've had a African American person who is our sales manager in 2021, 2022. We had a longstanding public safety officer who. No, she left to go to a different. She left on her own to go to a different company, and then we've also had public safety officer for a long period of time. Yep, and they have also left to go and find work at other places. So we do strive to do that. That's one of the things that we do. We strive. No, I'm not going to get into this argument because yeah. So we have an HR department that does that, and that's one of the reasons we specifically hired an HR department. So.
The only thing I was going to state in my time being here for 10 years, I'm actually from the area, and my kids go to school close by. Most of our employees are from this demographic area. We can't control what the demographic area around us is either. We're noticing a little change of that within our schools too. So we do hire quite a few Hopkins, Hamilton, surrounding areas, but it's all with who comes to us. So like Jeff said, we are an equal opportunity employer. It's just based on who comes forward to want to serve the park. The other thing too is not many people want to come from outside of these demographics because it is a challenge. I mean, we challenge with the wages and stuff. We pay our employees very well, but if they're coming from longer distances, it's harder too. So I just wanted to state some of that is out of our control, but we definitely open up to all of that. So.
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is David Bates, K92. I noticed over the 4th of July weekend, just seemed for whatever reasons, a lot of scooters that are floating around. And I'd like to know what the board is doing about that, because I think we agree. We've seen people running through the stop signs, and we've seen all this and that. Squirt guns with squirting other people. So what's the update on that?
So anybody want to take a stab at that?
Well, I don't know if that would be necessarily under board purview or operational.
Nope, that's fine. So scooters have come up, I would say, last 2 or 3 years. We've seen them through the park. They're pretty prevalent now. So we have had Safety and Security Committee look at that to bring some recommendations forward. We've also had the Rules Committee look at that to bring some recommendations forward. I know they're still looking at bringing forward a couple, 1 or 2 recommendations. Right now, they still have to abide by speed limits. Everything that a golf cart, a vehicle, a moped, and I have seen them get pulled over. The challenge with that is, we don't have license plates on them. So are they campers? Are they members in the park? So those are some things that we're still trying to work through right now. But they do get treated. We see the reports on a regular basis as to how many speeding violations. I want to say year to date, speeding violations is about 24% of the tickets that the public safety are writing right now, and that's the highest level. And scooter, we had, from what I understand, our first accident last week. And and that was the only one that we've seen. We've been blessed, but we do see it. And I know we've asked for some studies. We asked for some recommendations because it's out there. We gotta find a resolution for it. So, thank you. We have looked at that. The challenge is, where do you put a license plate on a scooter, right? And so then you go with, can you see it? And these are some of the challenges that the public safety and the rules committee and safety and security. So we see it. We are trying to work on it. So thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Valentine. I'm in Phase 3 at 1192. First off, as a quick tangent to your last comment here, just make all of the kids wear necklaces with the number on it, And I'm known for being rather sarcastic.
Hand out lanyards.
Lanyards and those little key fob type of devices like we have to use to get through the gate. Yeah. I just want you guys to know, this is only the second season for my wife and I. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And I know that I've never served in this kind of a capacity like you are. I don't know any of you. But I just want you to know how much I appreciate this community, that you guys are working to be what it is. And even though I don't have a point of reference with other family experiences with my wife or her children, my kids, grandkids, we've got 8 grandkids, but I can tell you this is a place I want you to know how much I appreciate. And my one additional suggestion, if you may, is there a possibility that with respect to all of the technology we kind of get overwhelmed with, and I'm not the best at using all of the great gadgets and apps and everything, but is there a chance you guys could potentially integrate messaging for us through text messages?
We do have that now. It's called the RAVE system.
Okay.
If you're new to the park, which it sounds like you are for the last couple of years, you should have been entered into that. If you're not, we can get you in contact at member service, and we can enter you into that.
Okay.
Now, ironically, at the annual membership meeting, one of the questions was, how do we streamline some of that technology? Because once you're in there, you get a blast for everything. So we're still trying to work through that avenue of the text messaging, but that function is there, and we can get you signed up. Just stop in at member service.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Michael David Myers from 648 in Phase 2. Are the workshops open to the public? Your workshops?
No.
No.
They've never been? Because it just seems all your discussion and decision takes place.
Go ahead.
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, at one point they were closed for a long time, and then there was a couple of years they were open. The board votes, how they want to operate that meeting. It's a work session of the board to gather information. They don't vote on anything. It's to, prepare an agenda and discuss things in private, because we know how the reason, again, in the past was, the concept was, well, yeah, just open it up and then everybody can come in, and then it got to be a long, drawn-out deal where everybody would leave and take misinformation, and then before we had even discussed anything, it was all over Facebook. The park's doing this, they're doing that, they're gonna do, and it just got to be where you couldn't even function orderly. So at that time, that board voted to close those work sessions to the board.
Are the work sessions videotaped to where I could look at them after that?
No, that's closed means closed. It means it's
Well,
for the board of directors.
But there's no way then that I can have input about the agenda, because, you guys just sit there and basically all vote for the same thing. And
That's no, I'm going to stop you. That's not accurate, okay? We've continued to have this conversation about transparency and, secret squirrel and top secret stuff. That is completely false and inaccurate. You have the ability to ask if you want an agenda item put on the agenda by emailing the board of directors, or commandeering one of the board of directors at the Dairy Dip, or you can stop in my office, and we have open communication on a regular basis. So you can email them, you can stop and talk to them and say, hey, what's going on with this? Can we get this as an agenda item? Those items are then brought forward at the work session, and they are discussed by the individual board members in that work session. And then it's determined at that time what makes the agenda or not. The people that make the agenda are the chairperson, the majority of the board, and then myself and Kimberly from an operational standpoint, because as you can see, operational agendas get on there, and that's within their purview. We are not a public entity. We do not have to go by the Open Public Meetings Act. We do use Robert rules, and we do use that where we want to, and then we do not use that where we don't want to. And this is all within the purview of the board. It's in the bylaws. Specifically, if you look at the bylaws, the bylaws state that the board can use the authority that's granted to them in the rules. And in the rules, it states they set policy, and they govern the park. And that's what they're doing. And this is how they choose to do it.
Okay, thanks for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Two observations about, number one, over by the ice cream place, there is a light that's under a tree, and the light stays on all the time because the tree blocks the on and off part, I believe. So I think that can be easily corrected somehow or moved to be more effective, since the tree is not going to get shorter in my lifetime.
Okay, I'll bring that to maintenance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the third thing that I'd like to bring to you is that when you are at that intersection where the security building is straight ahead, and to the right side is the gate exit. What I have seen is that when there are two vehicles, two people in that building, they park back and forth, and that exit is not visible. There's no pavement showing where you go. You just kind of always go around it. And I just think there could be some improvement in that parking situation where if they move that rock, they move if they want to go, because I would recommend they just park to the right side, but so that it would keep that gate open and visible.
Right. No, good point. And we've looked at how we do the entrance and exits over there at the main gate, public safety, because the mail center is also a challenge for us right now. So that's part of one of the long-term plans that through our structures review that we did with a third-party company, that mail center needs to be larger. It needs to be a different kind of building, different kind of setup. Where do you put it? And those exits in and out at public safety probably need to be addressed as well. So we're working on it.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Hi, Eric Sinclair, K343. Comment and a question. So first, want to thank you. Over the past 5 years, there have been a lot of increases in dues and fees and assessments, and so hearing that you're not proposing one right now gives us some breathing room, so I appreciate that. Thank you. On the topic of fees, my question is about the new point of sale system. So you mentioned that it is going to be integrated with member statements. So currently when you pay online, there's a fee to do so. Is that going to change? Is it going to go away? Do you have an early idea of that?
So an update to that, there will still be the fee if you use your credit card online. When, according with our PCI regulations, which is the Private Information Act for credit cards, they assess a higher charge when the card's not present when you pay online. Most companies absorb that cost into the price they charge for the cost of goods that they sell. That's hard for us to do. So there's a transfer back, so you'll see the income we receive off of the service charges. A good point to the system, though, is we are implementing an ACH opportunity. So different times when you can do either. The current system did not allow that in an easy way for us, but if you do want to avoid that fee, you can use that option to do like a bank ACH draft. So.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mindy Vashaw, 1072. I've got kind of a couple of different questions. My first question is, who is the new election person that was brought in this week?
It was Gerald and Kimberly Vandertil.
Okay, and then that happened as a vote amongst the board?
It did.
So was it a vote that happened?
It was per our articles in the bylaws,
Okay.
Mindy, where the chairperson can appoint the commission, and then under advice and consent, the board can provide an authorization. Doesn't need to be voted on in public.
Okay. My second question is regarding the fishing dock. Was that originally planned to be down by the boat launch?
We did take a look at that area. We talked to Spicer Engineering, who worked with Eagle on the engineering of that dam. We talked about having a pier over the riprap and being able to still fish out that way. From an engineering perspective, they said, no, don't do that, because they have to come out annually and inspect the rocks in the dam, make certain that it's still structurally sound. You put a platform over that, they can't get to it.
What about like if we moved the current boat docks that are over there over to here and put the fishing pier over there? I know that the best fishing is over by the dam. So we're putting a fishing pier over here, and then are we going to regulate who can fish there and who can't?
At the dam or here?
Over here, or over at the dam. We're going to tell them they can't fish there.
We're not telling them that they can't fish there. We're telling them to stay off the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. when I went to the lake committee, I thought it was over by the boat launch, and I thought that was a great idea. I just want to express my concern about being over here. Number one, anybody with any kind of mobility challenges is going to have a hard time getting down that hill and back up.
Yep.
Second, that is kind of what we call the dog beach, so that dogs can be over there. And inevitably, it's going to be full of things that will hurt the dog, because you'll have hooks and lures and that kind of a thing. So just a statement. Third, I want to address the board of directors and say, regardless of how the election turns out today, it is my hope that we look for a way to bring about additional transparency to the board. In September, you guys are going to discuss what your operating code in ethics and confidentiality is going to be. And my hope is that we can start to change that document. And that document should be voted on as a board publicly so that we know. And that document should also be available to all of us without having to go in and legally request to see that document. I think that transparency needs to happen. It would be my greatest hope and desire that you choose to be part of Robert's Rules of Order and as well as Open Meetings Act so that members have access to all the information. And if it has been disruptive in the past to have the public come to those meetings where you guys discuss things and to nip any kind of hearsay, it would be my hope that those work sessions become televised, even if people aren't allowed there, so that we have a true understanding of how you get to your decisions. And I think that would help immensely in bringing about trust amongst the members. Thank you.
Good afternoon, President, Chair, and Board. Paul, thank you again for your service. Really appreciate it. And, you know, probably looking forward to a little relaxing.
A little bit.
Not, okay. I do want to add just really quick, I know I asked a question earlier at question and answer time, and so I just want to recap. I did kind of briefly review the bylaws in between the meetings and stuff. I still don't see the full language that you're stating that's in the bylaws as far as things go onto an agenda. You know, I would imagine, you know, it's the chair and the president talking about things, operational things would come on, and then it says something about the chair and 3 committee members that discuss the items on the agenda. So I mean, I don't have to waste my time here on this. I'm just saying I'm happy to talk to somebody else, you know, afterwards, you know, just to pinpoint exactly where it states in the bylaws, the 3 different things that you had mentioned in the previous meeting, how an item gets on the agenda. So that was just one. And then I do want to jump on really quick. There was a gentleman that mentioned about the workshops, and I thought that was a great idea, you know, in front of me. Where Mindy just stated about just having them on tape, because you wouldn't have the hearsay, you'd see the full discussion of it, maybe put a disclaimer, watch the full thing, right? Or is there possibility to structure your workshops so that 2 teams gather information, so you're not meeting as a quorum, right? And then present the findings to the full board at a public meeting, so then you've hashed everything out, and then in turn, people can hear this is a process we went through, or we did get 3 different quotes on the dock or the new handicap ramp, and here's what this looks like. So I just kind of, you know, I mean, as the board, you have the power to change some of those items when the new board comes in, that you have the power to change how you conduct meetings, how you bring items onto the agenda, and how your workshops are in view of the public, so the public kind of understands the decision-making process. And then that was just my question. Does the board have the authority, and I'm going to guess that the board does have the authority for greater transparency and accountability to change that process, whether you're televising it later or whether you're splitting up into teams of 2, which I would guess 4 and 4. And as a chairperson, you would just fill in when somebody's not able there to receive the information. And usually their recommendations come in before you, correct?
Right.
Okay. Then I just wanted to ask a quick question on the handicap accessible walkway. It's going from, my understanding and what you just said is the cement slab on the back side.
Right.
And heading down, it's going to hit in a T crossing.
Right.
Approximately, and maybe I missed this, how many feet is that for the walkway from where it starts
at the slab to get to the T crossing?
70 feet.
Okay. Are we having any kind of sitting positions or, benches or anything offered to the public for those maybe who are walking with a cane or anything? If they can't make the full 70 feet, is there going to be a place for them to stop along the way?
To meet ADA guidelines, and Val, help me out in case I'm mistaken. To meet ADA guidelines, you have to have if you have a slight incline, this might be one degree, but if some type of incline, every 50 feet you have to have a level spot. Val, did ours include any benches, though? Sorry, Val is the head of our lake committee, and she was more involved in this.
And the pull-offs will have seating? No, they will not have benches on them at this time. So if somebody's.
Someone in a wheelchair would have their seating, someone with a walker would have the seating.
There's a handicap picnic table. Okay, and that's going to be clearly defined with the blue, right, to let people know that have the blue handicap, so somebody doesn't think that they can just access that with a stroller.
No, anyone can, yes,
I mean,
actually.
they can, but I'm just saying, if it's crowded up with other people, do you know what I mean? And
I
the people
see.
who need to really use it would not have access. So how does that, I'm just curious how that would
So,
work.
from the pictures that I've seen, you can have, to your point, that blue handicap like plaque on it. So if it's overcrowded, there's handicapped people there, then that's theirs, right? If there's no handicapped people there and it's overcrowded, or there's nobody there and they want to sit there, then they sit there. But I think if I remember correctly, I saw like a handicap placard for that, and you can tell by the size of that table as well and how it's made. But we can identify it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then with that, I don't remember hearing it, do we have a total cost, an estimate of what this would cost, and a timeline of starting the project and ending the project?
Are you referring to the walkway?
Yes.
Was it about $7,000? I think it was.
Yeah.
Val's got it right there.
Okay.
There are monies available through the Lake Development Fund, so the members will see no increase. There won't be any assessments, anything along that line. It would come out of the Lake Development Fund.
Yeah, our last quote brought us in at approximately $6,000. That did include signs for parking and for the web.
Okay. And then also is, just want to make sure I'm getting all my questions answered on that. Do we have any grants that would be available to help offset some of the costs? Are there any grants out there that we would be able to access?
Just hand the microphone to Val.
We did look into grants. We've actually toyed with this particular project for 2 years, so it's not something that just came up. Because we're a private entity, those grants are really difficult for us to get. We do not, as a private entity, by the way, have to comply with federal guidelines. This ADA walkway will comply. We did that in, first of all, in order to try to get a grant. That was just not possible. The grants are pretty much set aside for state parks, municipalities, et cetera. Because we're a private entity, we did not qualify for any of the grants we looked at.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thank you.
Just one comment again on the agenda. So that is posted out online with the orientation package that I believe is on a website, and the specific bylaws. If you look at the powers of the board, they have the power to set policy and govern the park. And then if you go to the rules enforcement and rules of the board, they have the authority to enforce that. So that's where you're, from a specific agenda standpoint, there's nothing in the bylaws that states, because then you're gonna list, all right, what about an agenda? What about all these other things? So they have the authority, under the rules and authority, to set policy and the rules. And this is the policy that the board has set. Yeah, whoever's, yep, the 9 members. Yep, absolutely. Corey.
Hey, Jeff. Corey Barron, Site 1311. Just to, first of all, thank the board for your time, for all the time that you put in and keeping the park going. One question I have is, we still have a lot of campers coming in after Labor Day. Obviously, pools closed. We understand that. It cools off. But I see dairy dips closing. The stores are closing. It's kind of concerning that we're going to take a lot of amenities away for a lot of the campers that do still come in the park, or those of us that are still here on weekends. I mean, maybe limited hours on weekends or something, but it's just concerning. It seems to be closing early.
It's not closing early. It's closing as it always has been. And the reason why I say that is if you look at our demographics of our employees, they're kids. And they're rotating back to college, they're rotating back to high school, and then you've got all of the band and athletics and things of that nature. So we do. We run into this every year where how do we try to keep these things going?
Right, I see that with the pools, but in the restaurants and stuff, there's not a lot of kids in the country cafe.
Well, the dairy
dip,
the
yes,
dairy
yes.
dip is our number one revenue in the retail area, and yeah, they're basically.
It just would be
100%
nice
kids.
to be able to have some weekends later into September and run some limited hours with it. And
I don't disagree.
Find a way,
Yeah, we're open for input and ideas as well, because we struggle with this every year. But I don't disagree with you, Corey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're coming up on our time limit here, so next couple of questions, if we could, please.
I'll make it quick.
Sure.
Rob Griffith, Site 0419. Quick comment about the board. Thank you all very much for your work. It's not easy, and I appreciate each and every one of you. My next question is, I just want to see clarification. Are we going to see increases in boat stake fees, membership fees, and things like that? Because I thought I heard that from Kimberly's that there was, but then the gentleman here that there was. He thought he heard that there wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Annual fees.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think back to Eric. You were talking about increasing the dues, fees.
Okay.
You will see you'll see an increase in fees.
Okay, perfect. And then as far as the workshop meetings, I'm going to respectfully disagree with the comments that have occurred at this point about recording and open to the public and what have you. I'm going to disagree with that just simply because you folks need to have honest, frank conversations. That is not intended for everybody to hear.
Thank you.
And if you are getting recorded, whether it's going to be played live stream or to be viewed later, you're not going to have those frank conversations. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Whitty, K298. This is my last board meeting of the year. And stole my thunder a little bit. There's transparency always sounds great. And if you say you're not transparent, that sounds awful. But there are times when you can't be transparent, so you can act in the roles that you're in, that you were elected to, and provide the park the service that they've elected you to and decisions to make. And so somewhere there's a middle ground, and over the 20-some years we've been here, I've seen it move around. And I think this board, and even the last 3, I know there's been challenging times, has been the best at balancing that level of transparency with the members. So I appreciate that. Second, Kim doesn't get many questions, so I'm going to ask an easy one.
Okay.
I'm just wondering what the software system is that the point of sale is.
Sure. It is actually called North Star. I'm trying to, what is, Nexus. So
Nexus,
it also
yes.
is under the framework of Nexus. Their home base is out of Atlanta, Georgia. So it is a robust system. The one thing I have to say about the point of sale system that we have to follow, it also has to accompany our golf course. And so we're limited within what options we have available. But overall, I think we've made a good decision with it.
It sounds good. I know you've struggled with that probably more than 3 years of just getting a system in place that works or doesn't work. And then my last comment kind of goes along with the first one, I guess, just clarity, and I'm sure you've maybe looked at the bylaws as well, but the board does have, under board powers, the ability to set rules for meetings by resolution. They can adopt rules for meetings, which would include setting agenda items, adding, subtracting agenda items, whatever Robert's Rules of Order you decide. I think it probably would be good to gather those from the past, and even for incoming board members or incoming chair, whoever that may be, to have that available so you know what's been done by resolution, but then you can always change that as well. So just a comment on that.
Agreed. Thank you, Paul. All right, last, Karen, you are the last contestant, so.
Maybe I'll win.
Yeah, right.
All right, my name is Karen Stevens, 1395. We're in beautiful Phase 3. And I'm here representing Helping Hand Sewing. I talked at the annual meeting, and I'm going to show you all the dresses that we make, some of them. So we're a service organization that's making dresses for an orphanage in Mexico, and the chapel supports that, so I appreciate the chapel. Just for your information, over the last 13 years, they've made approximately 3,600 dresses to donate, along with shorts and aprons for this orphanage. My discussion was about being on the adult recreation schedule, that we are on there and along with 3 other groups, and that we're having difficulty. There's a little confusion about setting up our room. And the reason I wanted to come back was I think it could be alleviated with software, in that any group that is on the recreation schedule could be put into a software program if needed. I know it's not available right now, but that these groups that are for the whole park could be in there to let people know, look, this is when these groups are meeting. When they're not meeting, then other people can meet in there. I think that's only fair. The other groups have specific spots that they're in, and I think it's just a weakness maybe in the system, but we would like that, and I'm sure the other 3 girls are groups. The poker group, I don't think they'd be real happy if they showed up to play poker and they couldn't get in there. It might get kind of grumpy. But I just think there is a way to do it if we work together, that we can get that set up so that we and the other groups have those set in there. So,
No, good,
thank you.
good point. We did have a software system when we first launched the North Shore, and nobody used it. It wasn't utilized. So we got rid of the cost of that. But Karen, I think we might have a solution for the Helping Hands for you guys. So we can talk after class if you want. So. And I don't know, I'm seeing the fans out in the audience there. I will say, so this is the last board meeting of this group here. Our last one is in September. But this is the first board meeting that actually utilized all 30 minutes. So maybe we should have every board meeting in the steaming heat at the chapel. Should we do that? Okay. Okay, so this concludes our Q&A. Great conversation. Thank you for bringing everything up. We appreciate this board. We appreciate our members. You guys have a blessed day, and try and stay cool and out of the heat. Don't forget to vote. Thank you.